Testing. Testing 1, 2. Fantastic. Looks like we got 3 more pits left in the draft, so we'll give it a moment. Try to get Coos set up here. Hold on, I think I gotta let Coos in, hold on. I guess I should turn myself on. Hold on, we're gonna do a couple of things here. I'm gonna go turn myself on. There I am. I'm going to turn Coos on. Can you hear me, Coos? Testing?
I can hear you.
Thank God, dude. Now, the one thing I don't understand is why you're coming out of my desktop and not my headset, but that's a problem for another time.
It's late, and we don't need to worry about it.
That's right. Gosh, we're just finishing up the draft, it looks like. Pete just went for 0.
Is there a spot where I can see? Or is this gonna, like, screw up? Like, is this the way people hear us? Is this gonna be weird? Should I maybe join in the stream channel?
No, they should be able to hear you.
I get that, but I'm saying, what if I did this? Am I talking here?
Well, I've got you muted right now. Let me see. I can turn your volume down to 0 in here, and then I'll unmute you here. Try that now.
What do you want? What do you say?
Oh, that's fantastic. Let's go.
Problem is now I can't blur myself. I just look my place is a mess right now.
All right. Who just got drafted? I didn't see. Josh sits 1 sits.
That's a throwback right there.
And then Timote finishes out. Okay, fantastic. I had a whole bunch of things planned, but it's very late, so we're not going to do all those things.
Yeah, congrats on your majors win. I guess we should get that out of the way because I knew that was going to take about 30 to 40% of our time here.
I was going to say that till Friday, but if we really got to talk about it, I mean, dominant from start to finish, 14 under 15 points. Number 1 team in the league. I mean, what can I say? I'm scared for Jid's team. They were not good.
Did you see what I said at the end of Game 5 though? I was like, those first 2 minutes of Game 1, I was on the phone talking with like my dad or something. I'm sitting there watching, like, oh no, they were shook after that cap where you juked Jig on the team boost.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that's I think that was a team. You want to know what I think? I think they didn't scrim Jardim 1 minute.
Yeah, it didn't look good. Moonbase was a little better for him for sure. Yeah, but Jardim not good.
So are they all done? Can you take a screen cap of the results?
I'll admit, I've already closed out of the stream.
Misery? It was just a little too quiet.
You know what? I'm right there with you. Although it looks like rosters have been updated, so I can do that maybe.
What do we got? Not there.
And I'll put on the stream for everyone to look at too.
No, and then yours was really the only thing I watched out of majors. I mean, I watched like a second of OK then, but that was about it. I took more away from the scrims that he did on whatever day
Yeah, I would.
than any of the games.
I know Meows is in chat. Furballers definitely gave us the most trouble so far this season.
They gave you guys the business.
They did. I just DM'd you the results, and I will add
Oh, there we
that
go.
as an
Okay,
image.
so these are at least up.
So take a look at that. Decide what you want to do for power rankings. I was kind of filling mine out as we proceeded there.
Why does that not look? I feel that doesn't look right. Oh wait, maybe I just didn't. Okay. Let me get my notepad out.
Oh, don't tell me you got a notepad.
I'm a former newspaperman. That we always have something to write with handy.
Look at you. Now I gotta freaking find this stupid. Alright, there it is. It's not gonna be very legible at all. Oh, there you go. That's not too bad.
What were your major draft takeaways?
Major draft takeaways? I don't understand.
Oh, no, just, I mean, I don't mean like the majors draft. I mean your major. From
Yes, no,
game.
understood. Why do we keep? And this has really nothing to do with the draft at all. Why do we keep letting Vic be involved with these things? Again, 10 minutes late to a 10 p.m. draft.
He wasn't drafting, was he?
I don't. But they said they were waiting on him, so he was involved in some capacity, I think. But
Oh,
so
maybe he's not CRC.
I don't know what he was doing. But just get Vic out of here, man. I was so tempted to put his team last in my rankings just because I can't stand it. Anyway, other than that, off the jump, like Russ and Goat first two pits for whichever teams they're on, the Mad Splatters. Like, that seemed like such a good starting duo to me, and we'll get to them in the power rankings, I'm sure. But then they go 3 and 4 with Irony and Logi. I mean, how does that happen, dude? That was crazy to me.
They were already like I think when I saw Irony, I'm like, okay, that's just a high floor team, no big deal. And then, just to see the amount of value that they can get late in the draft between those. I mean, think about it this way: Irony could have been nommed in the first half of the draft, I guess. I mean, was he? I mean, he was kind of in that middle section, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I feel like people still know he could have gone for 5, 10, 20, 20, but you know what I mean. Like, it's a player that could definitely head up one side of the ball, one side of the map. So I mean, that's a team where immediately you go. I see other teams have big stars and lots of tag coins there, but I think that draft for them reminded me of like remember that season of mLTP where I got Rob and Skippy and Sadness.
Yep.
It's like it was one of those like I feel like the talent level was kind of the same where you can get like very dependable guys even at the bottom of your roster and it still works out completely fine.
Yeah, it was just particularly strange in this draft too, because you're looking at the bottom of the board for these pits, and not that like Josh and Pete and Pass or PK are all like they're not horrible, but
who's the last person on HGB?
I thought it was Timote.
That's right.
I guess they haven't updated the tab.
Yeah. Which I mean, okay.
And then I guess anything come off to you in a negative way? I was really surprised Waterwheel kind of states his claim on Balls to You that him and AJ seems, I don't know.
I mean, you could look at those two and say, it can either work or it doesn't. I mean, that's very good analysis on my part, of course, but I mean, the way some of these players that are perceived as toxic want to go about it is, artificially deflating their value, and I mean, it's not like it always leads to, teams stomping their way through the season.
It's true. And in this case, I wouldn't even say they deflated their value. I mean, AJ went for freaking 44 coins.
Yeah, and then to look at the rest of that team, you used to go, okay, those other two in P-Wings and Bubbles are dependable. And frankly, I mean, Water's got the right idea. I mean, he hopes it works. I think it's got a better chance of going okay than it does spectacularly wrong.
Yeah, and quick break, Misery, thanks for the raid. Kelvin, thank you for the gifted subs. That is a
Kelvin
lot.
with the 10 bomb.
Unbelievable.
That's incredible. We should also mention, first 5 minutes to have Selfie and Toity go like that to the same team. I don't think we've ever seen anything like that.
Yeah.
In a minors draft, at least recently.
And it was funny, like, it was both unlike and totally like Nameless to do that. Like, we're used to him, he gets one high TC player, and then he fills up the last remaining roster spots at the end of the draft. Similar approach here. I guess he just really liked Selfie and Toity, right? But it's the same idea. A-Dog and Sweaty Pete round them out at 0 TC. Man, I hate to base my rankings on ranked pubs here, but it's really my own experience I have with Toity. I don't know, man. I question the ability to be a lead defender here, although I think A-Dog for 0 probably helps that.
Would you be playing with A-Dog there, I guess?
Yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah, I mean, A-Dog is a better attacking player, I think, than he is a defender. I mean, it could have changed. I mean, the last time I've captained him, what is that? Probably 2 years ago by this point, maybe even 3, and he was always an attacker then. And I mean, you're asking for high carries when you get in that situation. Maybe it was one of those spots where, I mean, you can take the TC values out of it, and we can get to my soapbox about that in a second here.
Yep.
But I think in this draft, you look at the last 10, 15 picks, it's all pretty much the same. I mean, the
True.
TC values don't mean as much. It's just a matter of where does that massive drop off of talent go.
True. And I think you mentioned it probably is a good segue. For those watching, I had in my notes during the draft, Koos was making comments during the draft stream about people not understanding player value. So, Koos, I'll give you your couple of minutes here to go on about it.
No, it's not even a couple minutes. You people are idiots.
It's
I think
bad.
this show is going to be, generally pretty positive. And I think to set the tone for the whole season, like, I think it's a good thing to sign up, and I would feel bad if I was going to be out here just like crapping on people that sign up and play the game when I don't do it. And when if I'm ever going to say something during the season and, what do you call it, kind of be perceived as aggressive against somebody, please don't take it personally. It's just a matter of I just think about it in terms of reality. And I think we want to make this a kind of entertaining show that is in the nightcap vein. But when you say, oh my gosh, how does Russ go for 50 coins and let's see someone, and why Vic only goes for 20 coins? Well, that just doesn't make any sense to me. Every single person that gets taken in the draft, the values kind of in reset, if you will. Don't freaking, I almost swore on the stream. Don't freaking pay attention to numbers, because it just changes. If I see a 40 TC player in the middle portion of the first couple rounds, that makes the values just do not make any they have no effect on how someone goes later in the draft. Obviously, like a fourth ball, if someone's using up all their coins, that's one thing. But just this idea that, oh my gosh, this player, let's take a look at AJ and balls to you. I mean, I think a lot of us would go around and you talk to a lot of neutral observers across the entire league, across the people that play ranked. Balls to you is a better player than AJ. But oh my gosh, AJ's worth one more coin. It doesn't. It's the numbers themselves are only important in the individual picks themselves, because once my team, the team that I'm bidding up against, or say I have a hole on defense, another team on the board has a hole on defense too. My 28 coins are going to matter if I'm Fender at the end of the draft, and if I spend all 28, it's not really that important when you only have 27 left.
No, I agree, and I think maybe to state it my way, it's prices are variable depending on where you are within the draft, and ultimately all that matters is what your final four looks like, right? What you spent to get it there doesn't really matter.
Oh, sure, I get that. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if there's a world in which you, me, and okay, then I'll go for 0 coins, and we pick up an Aussie that's never played the game before for 100. That's still an okay
Right,
team.
exactly. I guess, do you want to segue into maybe a shorter soapbox onto your draft timer discussion?
Oh, I just, maybe it's because it's midnight and that draft took 2 hours, and then you look and you think, okay, there were 32 people taken. And so what does that average out to in terms of, let's do a little math here. 120, maybe we'll call it like 130 minutes that we spent watching that draft, divided by 32 players. That's 4 minutes per pick.
Yep.
And especially once you got to the end and we had however many people that had no coins left and those picks took 30 seconds, it's always I've been a captain multiple times before. You got to have a person ready to nom and ready to go. And when you're bidding, let's just not mess around. We saw how much these TC don't really. There was no situations in which we had to go to a wheel or anything like that.
Yep.
People are grubbing over coins and then ended up like Fender spending 28 on the last person just because that's who they wanted to take. So, I think as a watching spectacle, it's not very fun to sit there and watch someone staring at an empty nomination screen for 2 minutes.
I agree.
Refine's got a good idea here. 2 minute maximum timer for every pick. And so the only thing I'd say to that is the sniping comes back into it. Maybe. But maybe if you're pro, you can find a way around that.
Well, maybe continue in that direction, since that kind of limits the team's ability to snipe. Just completely go back to a victory style auction. I know we did that one minor season so many seasons ago, maybe the early 20s.
Did that take a long, or was there something? I'd have to look back in it because I remember it's just a funky format.
Yeah. It was season 16. Oh gosh, longer than I thought. Oh.
What about this for fun? Just in one of these summer seasons, silent auction.
Wait, what do you mean silent auction?
Everyone puts down, hey, how much would I spend for this player? Or maybe it's kind of the same thing as the victory. Maybe
I think similar.
About that right? Where you say, okay, I say CT Crunch comes on the board, I want to spend 40 on him.
Yes.
And is that how it worked?
Yeah, I think Vickery just had a caveat to where you got him for the second highest bid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that's pretty fun. Obviously it requires a little bit more strategy and thinking on the captain's part, but you're already, I'd rather be locked in a little bit, or like 8 out of 10 for an hour versus having to sit there and drag on and pay attention for 2 hours.
For sure. Smalley mentions doing it like a real auction. If you were familiar with mLTP way back when, I know J-Bay used to actually run an auction. So we could always bring J-Bay back for a season or two. Have him run one.
That was a classic.
Alright, good. Let's do power rankings. I came up with mine, and then if you...
I got 3 teams, and I'm sitting there, it's just like I've got like hang-ups on a lot of different ones where they're all kind of in the same conglomerate.
I'm gonna make some stuff smaller here. Not that anyone can see these rosters now, but... Okay, so those watching can see my rankings. I'll read them off for EQs. From 1 to 8, I've got Mad Splatters, HGB, Wave Paintings, Furballers, OPH, the Pingo Pake, LBT, and FWO. And
where do you want? Let's go bottom up on your rankings then.
Yeah, bottom up, man. FWO. We kind of touched on starting twos at the beginning of this. How we thought Russ and Beef were just this magnificent starting two. I thought Selfie and Toity was solid, right? The starting two for FWO. Man, it feels like we tried this last season. BBS had it was Marcus Yallo, AJ, a couple other guys kind of in that tier, and that's what FWO feels like to me. It's like your top twos, Marcus and Hugh, which I think individually are good players. When you put them in a group of 4, that's all around that level. So like their entire team's like Marcus, Hugh, Dolph, and Pass, right? I just like who's I don't know who's good on that team, like really good.
Oh, I think Hugh is a good player.
I do too,
someone-
but he's better as
someone-
like the third player on your team.
Yeah, I saw someone today. It was AJ talking about like up and coming players. Like first of all, I'm pretty sure Hugh was around before AJ. And second of all, I mean Hugh, can handle himself in a lot of situations now. What might happen here is with this team, what's your defenses? What, Marcus and Dolph
Oh, I think it's Hugh and Dolph.
on defense?
Marcus
I thought
has to
Marcus
go
was-
O, I think.
I think Marcus was de-restricted.
Well, that's
Or is
even
that just
worse.
Was that just the board lying to me? Because I was gonna say if
I can check the
Marcus
board
was
real quick.
de-restricted, yeah, Marcus is de-restricted.
Then,
say it
yeah,
this
they're
way.
doomed, dude. Are you kidding me?
No. Here's the thing. Marcus is not. Sorry to say, he's not worth 26 tag coins on offense. I mean, unless I've been away for the game from that long.
Were you
He's
involved
a-
on that Holdman Sats team we had with PK, Marcus, Easy, and Casley?
Was Marcus on that team?
Marcus was on that team. I thought really dynamite offensively, just had no head for the game.
Yeah, I mean, maybe things have changed. I've been out of the game for a while. I only watched like the last dregs of the playoffs and minors last season, so I mean, this is gonna be a learning situation for me these first couple weeks as we figure things out. But no, I mean, Dolph I've not seen in a while. Past, like you said, has been getting better, and I think is ready for this level. Would I say that they're immediately the best team? Tough to say, but yeah, if Marcus is de-restricted, you put him with Dolph, I suppose. Yeah, they're gonna have to, find your way. Hey, they're gonna have to find the fastest way only to keep the flag at base.
Boo.
Because yeah, you need to give pass time to get rolling on that.
Yeah.
Time to get grabs off. The pass is not, and he I think are both not the type of players to just sit there and go, let's go bump crazy and boost crazy and try and create explosive offense.
And I hate to keep comparing them to BBS from last season, but
Let me pull up.
it's just so
last season's
similar to
number?
me. I think because they had AJ and Marcus, and I want to say they had Face, and I can't remember who their fourth is.
What season are we on right now? What season is
This
this
is
coming up?
so
Right
you're
here?
looking for 35.
Okay, this is good. I can pull up some information. I can educate myself.
It just
in
feels
real
like the
time.
exact same team to me. It's like it's a lot of guys who are like on the verge of being good. It was Trapson and Freak. Thank you. It was captained by Face. That's why.
Okay, I've got all these in front of me. We had a lot of teams in minors last season.
It was a good season last season. Misery. Thank you for the follow. Yes, they just remind me of that BBS team, and they were okay, but like they finished 9th, 10th, 11th, somewhere in that range, and that's kind of what I had seen predicted from them at the start of the
They
season.
finished just outside of the playoffs.
Yeah, it was just like they got a lot of guys who are on the come up, and all together, that's just not good enough to me. So that's why I got him last. To me, that was just like a clear last place to me. Especially now that I know that Marcus is on defense, that makes zero sense to me.
Yeah. Okay. Let's keep going with LBT.
Yeah, LBT. Man, I've hated hate's a strong word. I've disliked Squeeb as a player, I think, for like 5 years now.
Long time in this game.
Yeah, there's been a turning point. Where everyone.
I remember when we were all on that same level, right? There's a
Yes,
certain
yes.
collection of players who are quite old, and they were all on that same kind of
Squeeb
level where
was
it's like
always this
not
guy.
quite majors level yet.
Squeeb was always this guy, exactly. It was never quite majors level, but man, he would farm minors players. And at some point over the years, like people caught up
like
to
me.
him.
It's like me. You get your reaction time goes down, and you just
Right.
you lose that little bit of extra push you need. I think this is a. I was not going to put this team that far down. I think because Face is really improved from the first time I saw him play. I can't remember how long, if that was 2 seasons ago, 1 season ago, whenever. Borges has a good value pick in there as a last ball. I think of all these teams here. If you're looking at fourth balls, I mean, and this is even, not even by TC, but just in terms of draft order, that's probably the second or third best fourth ball.
Yeah,
right?
I hate to
And
just throw Squeeb under the bus here.
I
Man,
don't think
I just don't like it. Squeeb and Borges, I think, is their defense, presumably. I know Tinder has been excellent the past couple minor seasons. He got drafted for majors and then got dropped, whatever. But man, I don't know. I think
I mean,
he's
Tinder's
been
gonna have to have the
passed
killer
by.
instinct. Tinder's gonna have to have the killer instinct, and you're gonna have to do, kind of keep making that progression, keep moving forward. And I think it's more possible than not in a season like this where the talent is, not as high as it could be in a winter season. Um, I think this team has a higher ceiling than you might be giving them credit for.
Maybe, and I've got people quoting me Squeeb stats in chat. To Nameless's point, yes, he puts up good
Oh,
stats.
D-gas is not important.
It's fake. All right, it's
Well,
fake.
D-gas is not important. Oh, I look at counting stats before I looked at D-gas
That's right.
in
So,
some situations.
yeah. So anyway, we can move on from them. I think it really just comes down to like I think Tinder's great. The rest of the roster, I'm not quite sure about. Squeeb in
He was
particular,
on
I think is just going to farm stats. Isn't all that
Globetrotters.
great, right?
I mean, Squeeb's on a team that finished second last season, and like we
They
said,
won the
this is the
mover, right?
worst.
Oh no.
Oh,
Okay.
did they?
No, they didn't.
Such is life.
I'm just being
They
toxic.
made the final 4.
Okay, well,
You streamed their.
I streamed them all. They got blown out, didn't they? That must have been a glucose spike game. They must have gotten smoked.
No,
Anyway.
well, they lost in 5.
Yeah. All right, we can move on though.
Yeah, keep going.
Pango Peg at 6th. We
touched
touched on
this
it.
already.
Yeah. So for those who weren't here, shot by Balls to You and Age. Well, not shot. It's just like we talked
The
about
pairing.
starting duos, and I think Balls to You and AJ. It's a really volatile. We're not sure what that's gonna be. And consistency is key in standings, and I don't know how consistent that team's gonna be. So that's why they're lower for me.
Right, but I'd say this team is generally, like, because of how good those top 2 players are. I'd say, you're not gonna sit there and be getting swept all that often. I think, like you said, like the consistency matters, and being able to at least get 2 wins out of weeks where you're not playing at your best or playing a very good team. I don't know. I would feel optimistic about this team. Could they have gone elsewhere with 0 coins is the question. I just look at Beast is still around, and I didn't keep track of every single player but I mean, in general, Beast being a non-draftee this season is a bit odd considering the talent level. I don't know. I'd say I feel like I've been very non-committal on a lot of these teams so far. I will agree with you that they have an uphill battle to make the play. Is it going to be? Oh gosh, how many teams make the playoffs?
I
Does everybody
imagine
make the
6
playoffs?
make playoffs. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then yeah, right at 6, they're gonna. I think maybe uphill battle to face. I didn't have a good spot for them on my power rankings.
Okay. 5 OPH. Again, already kind of touched on them. I think Selfie. I struggle with Torty.
Selfie's good. Selfie's good.
Yeah, no, I agree. And we keep talking about the
disagreement.
talent level of the season. I know he's probably going to pop off. And same thing's probably true of Torty. The experience I've had playing with Torty hasn't been all super positive. But I like the A-Dog Pete next to him, and I've always loved Pete. I don't know, feels like an OPH team to me, so they'll probably be alright.
The thing I would think about when it comes to, like, okay, is Toity the most expensive defender in this draft other than Tinder, I guess, and depending on what Taurus does.
Yep.
Can him and A-Dog, or how do they handle the other, the top 2-3 offenses? Hopefully they get another good team to play against early on, because I think that kind of tells you where their level's at. Some of these other teams, they're going to be solid against 4 or 5 other opponents in those first couple weeks if you needed it to be. But if I was looking at them, they're kind of the biggest question mark, I think, just because Did A-Dog play last season?
I don't think
off?
Adog's played in some time. I could be wrong, but
In Pete, I mean,
Adog hasn't played since season 28.
okay, I mean, so that's a good amount of time. That's probably at
It's a
least
couple
what, a
years.
good year and a half,
Yeah.
year and a half, 2 years, yeah. I mean, and I like him as a player. We'll see where they go. I think they're comfortably in the playoffs. I also think they would not be. I would be very surprised if they were a top 3 team, which I know is saying a whole lot in an 8-team season. But
Yep.
but and also, spending all your tag coins on 2 players, does that work in a season where the talent is spread out the way it is?
I guess we'll find out. I actually think the bottom 2 ended up pretty good for them. So
Oh yeah,
maybe it is all things considered.
Considering what they could have been. Now, I mean, and here's the thing too. Pete, with that European ping, say the servers go bad for him for a few weeks. There are plenty of players that I think can pop in, and not to say, I mean, you and I have played with Pete. He's an interesting character and,
Yes.
and an interesting player, but I mean, on Chicago, that's it makes a change, and it definitely affects the way he plays.
Yeah, and I think even if he does issue, I think good shout. Like someone like Randy Bobandy might be a nice call-up opportunity there.
Randy's probably been out of the game longer than A-Dog has.
He has, but I played him in ranked pubs a couple of times. I think he still kind of got it, dude.
We're back in? All right.
Yep.
Keep
All
going.
Right. Yep, good. Furballers, 4. I struggled with this one. I think I have him too high. I'm fresh off the CT crunch move we won last season. I'm riding the high. I love PK. The big questions are the defense to me. I assume it's Trapson and Witcher. Trapson, God, for who knows how long, toiled in novice for like 35 seasons. He made the jump to minors a couple seasons ago. Has played really, really well. He's always had Freak by his side. They've been deep partners for like 5 consecutive seasons or something stupid like that. How does he A, deal with a new D partner, and then B, Iceplat, who hasn't played in some time himself? I think season 29 was the last time Iceplat played, and that was on offense. So what does that look like? I struggle with the strength of the defense. I think CT Crunch is going to be in incredible form, and I think he's going to carry them to a top half finish. I struggle with what the defense looks like.
This is a potential for a top 2 offense, because I mean, PK for 0 is I mean, in 2025, what's going on there? I mean, I've catch bits and pieces, and I'm pretty sure PK is still all right. Am I missing something?
Yeah, he's in this weird realm where he's constantly going for
he's
0.
a known quantity. He's a known quantity,
yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
And so the other thing is, fairly or unfairly, I think maybe kind of more unfairly, people will take a look at a player that has been around for PK as long as PK has and has played in all these different like levels and go, oh, PK doesn't scare me. Why would I want him on my team?
Mm-hmm.
Well, shit, because he knows what he's doing half the time. How I can think of a handful of people that got drafted tonight where I go, am I going to trust them to be able to move their ball correctly?
Right.
and especially in pressure situations. PK's kind of seen it all. I think, he can. It's hard for me to say he can teach CT Crunch anything, because I think CT Crunch is one of those players that is right on that borderline of could be a majors player very easily, and we'll see how the progression keeps going, because I think he's the hot young new thing right now,
yep.
so to speak. But yeah, the defense is the real question mark, and I think we've seen it time and time. I think in competitive games, especially nowadays, you need your defense to give you a break. If you can have the 2 best offenders in the league, attackers, but if the flag's never in base and I've got to play OD for 8 minutes, I mean there's only so much I can do.
Yeah, and
so I would say they're kind of straddling that playoff line.
Yep, and I would just add to that last thought you had. Like, it's not last season CT Crunch. I mean, he had the benefit of playing with Tag Prof. He had misery, no swag on defense. I mean, it's a big jump going from I'm a good player surrounded by other good players to now I've got to be the guy.
Oh yeah, it's a culture shock.
Yeah.
And and certain, and you can adapt your play style, and sometimes you learn that after 2 weeks, and it's already too late because your team's 1-9 to start the season. So like you said, that's a good point too. I like that point.
All right, good. 3, wave pains. I said I was maybe too high in furballers. I'm definitely too high on this team. Torres is the linchpin here. Everything, I think, depends on him. Has looked decent and ranked. I'm pegging him to massively improve as we get into the season. What really intrigues me is this offense. It's Spheroid and Moto. Spheroid, for all the crap that he gets, actually like a really good offender. Like really good. And he's insufferable.
I'm laughing at Refined, not at you.
Okay. Well, he's insufferable, yes. Okay? We get it.
Who is?
Spheroid.
Oh, okay. I
mean, we get
it. I've never had a problem with Spheroid. He runs a good Survivor game.
Yeah, no, sure. Well, let me be softer in my phrasing. Can be insufferable. But really good offender, man. Really good. And to pair up with Moto, who also off a relatively long break, season 31, but was a 93 Odnish player in minors. I think won a Nooper prior to that minor season. Someone will have to correct me on that.
No, he didn't, because he said he made some interesting comments in the Discord right before when he got drafted.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked up him, and he hasn't won a Nooper. I think he made a finals one season.
That would make sense. Okay.
But,
well, so
you want my hot take of the night?
Give it to me. Yeah.
This is not a good team.
Come on. There's something here. There's something here.
I mean this in a nice way. Taurus plays to the level of his teammates, and that works well when you've got Majors teammates. Does it work so well when you've got an offense that will have to scrap and claw to get outs to make capping opportunities? Maybe they'll be good. Maybe Spheroid and Moto will be good. That's the major question for me. And Josh is off a layoff of 7 years.
Yeah, I don't know about Josh. We can call up any other defender if we have to, okay? But
I think I can agree with that, and that's going to be the thing that might take place.
I'm staking my reputation on it. I think Spheroid and Moto, that's going to be sick, dude.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Nameless, I'm right with you. I have them last because Taurus is a good player and has been, another known quantity, and I just think when I play with him and I play poorly, he's not out there saving my ass. And so if I've got an offense that say, okay, like if your offense can hold on, and that's fine. Taurus he's not a solo guy. He's not like a oh, let me get 25 returns in this half, can we get a couple caps and win us the game.
I don't think he's gonna have to be one. Number two, I think he could get to a number 1D status. He's gonna have to justify my third place ranking. But like, why do we give Squeeball this credit? And I know you weren't particularly, but chat was. He's at least Squeeb. He's at least Squeeb.
Oh sure. But okay, this is the other thing, and I don't mind the way Button did this draft either too, because I think it's definitely good to get one of those. Out of all those first balls, he's definitely a good one. Is he the by 5 or 6% the most valuable out of that whole bunch? No, but that's also why TC values don't matter. I just think this team, I don't see scenarios in which they're out there 4-1, 4-1, 5-0, 4-1, 4-1, and that's what you need to stay up at the top.
Okay, fair enough. I think maybe the opposite.
Playoff team, very possibly. I'm gonna have to see how that offense goes.
Yeah. I think maybe the opposite, like the negatives I had about the Pingo Pig, kind of calling them inconsistent in a negative manner. I think maybe you could say the same thing about the Wave Pins potentially not as consistent. But I believe in them.
Right, but with I think they also have a little less volatility to them. I think we'll know what they are, kind of stick to that. Whereas with that Balls to AJ team, that could be really good one week and then no good the next week, and it doesn't really matter so much the opponent.
And I guess just one extra note on Wave Pains, ban watch for Moto.
Oh, okay.
Just
Maybe.
keep that in the back of your mind, ban watch, and if that happens, I'm not liable for the ranking here.
And I mean, we'll see. Maybe that offense could. I mean, also this is the thing is there could be any number of trades that go on too, and that obviously changes the game.
Yep. All right. Number 2, I've got HEB, and I really hated doing this.
But I agree with you. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, I really hated it, and I was doing this during the draft, and I'm like, man, am I really gonna put Vic on another like top of the rankings? And I just had to. I mean, they've got 3 players with majors, 2 of them with majors experience. Freak has been a fairly good minors defender here for I think now 3-4 seasons, something like that. Man, the base talent level is just too good for them not to finish at the top. I mean, that's how I look at it.
Another high floor, and this is a top 3 offense, provided Freak can press his keys in the right manner every now and then. I mean, Tag Prof going for 50 is about right when you think about.
Wait,
okay,
Freak is unrestricted? What?
I know.
It doesn't matter anyway.
Well, that's not an issue for me because Vic's de-restricted.
What? Well, Vic's actually both.
No, well, it says it on there, but in the restrictions, he's restricted to defense and minors, unless there was something else I'm confusing him with.
Okay, well, I do hate Vic on defense, just to be clear.
Yeah, can the chat help me out? Okay, Vic is, I think, is pretty sure.
Yeah, Water says the board's wrong. I do hate Vic on defense, I do. But again, I just say you got 3 players that are really freaking good. And that's kind of where it starts and stops with me.
And Timothée, I mean, this is the player I probably know least about in the entire draft. So, I mean, good luck to you, son. Hopefully things work out for you. Let's see, was he a player last season? What do you want me to say, my friend? He was on a novice team last season.
Yep.
So one of just a handful. We got 1, 2. We got a couple of novice jumpers this season.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think, like I said, like I was kind of getting into before we got sidetracked by position restrictions. I think, Tag Prof, if you want to spend 50 coins on your offense, 50 coins on your defense, Tag Prof's the pretty smart choice to spend a 50 on. Are there any other attackers? I mean, CT Crunch, Selfie. You could also say the same thing about, I guess. Right? Yeah, that's the thing, is he's in that tier for sure. So, I would say, obviously it hinges on Timothée, and can't remember if I was watching them play in a ranked game and I was just spectating. I don't want to go off of 8 minutes off of someone spectating, so I'm gonna say best of luck to the lad and see what happens.
Sounds good. All right, we'll wrap it up. Mad Splatters, the same.
What were these other people doing? I mean, okay, take out Russ for 50. I mean, if you say he's the same player as Tag Prof, I don't care, whatever you want to say. Like it's too much for Russ, blah blah blah. Those bottom 3 players would, if you took them out and replaced them with a lot of the, if you took them out and replaced them with the same level 2 play, like B for any of these other 2 players, you're improving your team most of the time. Irony same way, Logi the same way. Mr. Awesome really crushed this draft.
Yeah,
because he's got 4 players that you can depend on. Not all these teams you can say that about.
Yeah, it was the same idea that I had ranking HEB so high, except instead of 3, they got 4. It's just like, it's 4 players, various levels, majors, minors experience. They've all been here before. They know what they're doing. They're all skilled. It's just like, I don't know. It's just a clear number 1 to me. I don't think it's particularly close.
Goat is the best value pick out of this entire draft.
I would agree with that.
When you look at what was paid for him.
Yeah.
I asked Button, would you rather have B for? Okay, I'll be mean. B for Motomoto. Would you rather have Fender? Would you rather have? It's hard to say, but like you can point around the board and just go, Beef improves your team there. Irony improves your team there for that same amount. Logi. I sat there and thought to myself, okay, FWO had like 30 coins left at the end. I thought to myself, you know what? Out of all the players left on the board at that point in the draft, I want to take someone who's going to help me win games. Yeah. I'm gonna sit there and look at it and go, do I want to take an unknown quantity that could help me like either boom or bust? No, I want someone who knows how to win. And Logi is a lot better than I used to give him credit for, and that's before I played with him on the same team, and I realized he's a very solid player, can contribute, knows what he's doing on both sides of the map. If this team ever gets in trouble, which how often are they going to sit there and be solo OD, 2 OD? Logi plays OD really well. A lot of these players on this list, if I'm looking at them and I'm sitting them and seeing them in solo OD situations, I'm like, that's a cap. Logi, never a guarantee.
You know,
How many? I mean, when you think about like visualizing, okay, how does this team win games? Unless they get messed around on pups, it's case closed. I'm waiting to see otherwise.
yeah, and
Now other teams are more explosive. Balls to you and AJ more explosive. CT Crunch and PK is more explosive. But I think about what wins at this level. It's reliability, like Lamos is saying, and it's know-how and really the ability not to screw yourself up and cost your own team 2 or 3 caps because you made one misplay.
yeah, and I always think back to Logi always has these teams, gosh,
That he's drafted.
that he's drafted, and they knock out these high ranked teams in the postseason because his teams always just play so smart. They're so disciplined. They don't grab stupid. They get power ups, and now he's gonna be that guy. Not as the captain of this team. He's gonna bring that as a fourth ball, which is just crazy to me.
The level of game sense on this team, um, not to say would rival a majors team because I do think the majors minors golf is pretty big this season, but I mean, far and away in terms of do I trust them to not like I said, this in minors and sometimes in majors this season I've seen like some of your scrims. The one mistake can cost your team 2 or 3 caps,
Yep.
especially if it comes around pups. This team, I look at and go, if they do that, they must have hit some pretty bad lag there for a second because I don't see them. We talk about this as a game that fewer mistakes wins, fewer mistakes out of this squad. Now, Russ and what is that? Russ and Irony defense. I think Irony is pretty solid on defense. I mean, you take what you can get. Like I said, other teams are going to be more explosive. This team is going to be in every single week they play in terms of they're not getting beat by 4 caps for 4 out of the 5 games. They're going to be in it. They'll be able to make plays and keep themselves in games, and that's all you can really ask for. That's how you steal points. That's how you keep yourself in the lead at first place.
Yep, I'm right there with you. I just top to bottom, most consistent, best team to me. All right,
Where could we be wrong? Is there anything else we need to think about?
I mean, I touched on it. I think I'll admit maybe wave pain's too high. And then maybe you could make some arguments that I've really underrated LBT. Hard to do these.
LBT I had number 3, and I know you hate Squeeb with a burning passion and want to see him fail this season. I just really like Borges and Face.
Yeah.
I think that's another team where you could sit there and go, you know what? They're hard. They're not going to be out of position all the time. Now, how some of these players do in competitive without their precious little timers is going to be interesting to me too.
Yeah,
I'm
that
gonna
was
get on my soapbox about that bullshit.
that was an interesting. I don't know if that made a difference in our majors games, but I could buy it considering how the team we played against played.
Who was I watching? MC uses pizza timers. How dare he? Because he was streaming a little bit before the game started, and I happened to be on the Tag Pro page. People.
Unbelievable.
I think, and this is a good point that I think could be, made to Cheese Doodle. The amount of players that would stop playing ranked games without timers, how many of those are out there? Versus, I can count myself. I can count however many people that would play if there were no timers. I'm even fine with pup timers, but these boost timers have got to go.
You won't find an argument here. I'm right there with you.
But I will say, if you want to start thinking while you're playing, and these players that are about to start scrimming, play some games without timers on, and start to think, because I'm surprised at how little you guys talked in terms of comms during your majors game. But if you think you aren't paying attention to boost times, you are.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I don't know if I agree with your comms comment.
I just was expecting more. I don't know why. Maybe we've got to that point, and I haven't played competitive in long enough to where we'd go. Oh, I'm watching left, I'm watching right. I have to listen to it back and see what's what.
Regardless, but yes, to your point, I mean, even if you're not calling it out, I think everyone on the majors field is at least vaguely aware of times of certainly bombs and then boosts maybe to a lesser extent. But all right, I guess any closing thoughts before we wrap it up? I know it's late, so.
No, thanks for listening along, everyone. We're excited to put this together for you.
Yep.
I think you look at the 60, 70 people that were watching a minors draft, and you look into it and you go, game's not completely dead just yet.
It's a good sentiment to end on. I'll echo that. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you after week 1 games next Monday.
Good night, Canada.
Take care.